Trapped since '95, your Toronto Raptors multimedia fan experience. This is Trap Chat, where us fans chat about what is, what was, and what should be happening with the Raptors. In today's episode, we chat about a rough set of games, what's coming up this week, and transactions to be nice. We want your perspective. Hit us up on TS95.com in the comments, on social media at Trap95, and with your video responses on YouTube. Your comments may end up on the next episode of Trap Chat. So, what's trapped on your mind? Let's chat about it.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Trap Chat. It's Big Beezy here.
And it's C-Sharp Major joining you once again.
Yep. We're here to talk Raptors as we do, chat about the team. And, it's been an eventful week since our last Trap Chat, so we're going to dive right in. To start, they played the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota. As you know, Minnesota is known for one Andrew Wiggins.
The Phenom.
Yep. The next, or actually the Maple Jordan, as he's called. And he certainly delivered in that game.
Yeah.
But his team did not.
Yeah, ultimately, this is a game that was expected for the Raptors to win. And thankfully they did, because nothing is a given, as we've been talking about in Raptorland these days. But the Raptors pulled it out. It was a pretty dominating win. It wasn't really a doubt throughout the game. They pulled away, in the second half, and final score was 113-99.
Mm-hmm.
Balanced scoring from the Raptors. They had 7 guys in double figures. So, no complaints there.
It's always good to get a consistent effort by all of the players, and you can actually see it in the stat sheet. We know that sometimes guys don't always perform, and sometimes the performances don't show up. But it was nice to see Ross with like 16, Valanciunas with like 15.
Yeah.
Lou with like 18, and like
DeRozan 17. Yeah, so pretty balanced. Yeah.
Exactly. It's nice to see those guys with consistency. Yeah. But then they went on to play the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn.
The nemesis, and didn't turn out too well, to be honest. This game was tough, man. It's a tough one to watch. Brooklyn, mind you, is fighting for, to make the playoffs, fighting for those last 2 seeds in the East. And to be honest, they've been beating everybody these days. It doesn't come as a total surprise that the Raptors lost this game, and also even last week I predicted them to actually lose this game, knowing that Brooklyn was in a fighting mode. You never want to lose to Brooklyn.
Yeah, this was a tough game because I think this was a game where, if I recall, DeMar DeRozan had a very big, high-scoring night. If I'm not mistaken, this was a game that Amir Johnson got hurt in the game. He sprained his ankle.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate because, as Sharp was saying, Brooklyn had been playing well. Darren Williams playing on top of his game, like the old Darren Williams. Brook Lopez playing like all-star Brook Lopez. And, Joe Johnson, I think he had a bad game that game. But one person who is a factor now on their team, who was never a factor before, it's a new dynamic the Raptors are now facing against Brooklyn, is them matching up against Thaddeus Young at the 4. It was a much different matchup than KG obviously was. And he's almost kind of like Amir Johnson in the sense where he can kind of just has a knack for scoring around the basket. And, that dynamic at play against the Raptors was something that I think they struggled to manage against once Amir got hurt during that game, because I think those two were kind of going back and forth, canceling each other out, and then when Amir got hurt, that just
floodgates were open, and Nets took advantage of it.
Changed a lot, because with Brook Lopez playing well and Darren Williams playing well, those guys were basically carrying that team.
Yeah.
Thaddeus Young supplements that with what he's doing, and it was too much for the Raptors, unfortunately, down the stretch. So.
Yeah. And from there, the very next day, the Raptors traveled home to face the Boston Celtics in the Air Canada Center. And once again, another team that is fighting for the last two spots in the East to make the playoffs. And once again, Heartbreak City. You want to talk about it?
Well, I mean, I would assume most of you who are watching this have seen how that game ended. If you haven't seen how that game ended, I don't even know if I want to tell you to go watch how that game ended. It was pretty brutal, but it was actually funny because I believe they were promoting. It was funny in a painful sense, in the sense that I believe they were promoting Lou Williams as a sixth man of the year candidate. Promoting
Lou Will Button.
Yeah, exactly. That the Lou Will Button, and Lou Williams had a pretty good game and was actually able to hit what looked like the game-winning shot, off-balance three-pointer fading to the left like he always does, but this time he hit it and it mattered. And there was barely enough time left, and the Boston Celtics. They've got a great coach.
Yeah, Brad Stevens drew up a masterful play. They inbounded the ball. He immediately called a timeout. He obviously saw something that he could exploit in the defense, and lo and behold, he did. And Marcus Smart scored. Game over. You can actually check that clip out. We have a clip on our Instagram page, and also you can check out Highlight Hub for any highlights that you need. But
why would they want to check that clip out?
I mean, if you're a diehard, you just want to see it all good, bad. Fans for better, for worse, forever. But yeah, man, it's another hard game, man. Another tough loss, and this is a real stinger. Like everyone I've talked to since they're just shaking their head, holding their head down. It was really painful. It was a really painful game, and not to mention that the Raptors could still face Brooklyn. There's a possibility that the Raptors will face Brooklyn in the playoffs. Time will tell. In the next segment, though, we will talk about the upcoming games for this week. So continue to track.